Live. Let's see who's here. Mr. Eggcake's here. The Talker is here. CJ Wallworks. Sparks 001. Boot Panic. Mr. Eggcake there. Kusamo Mart. CameraTim.com. Rick Dastardly. Craig Matthews is here. Juraj. The Bitbanger. The Starmuggle. Sirius Zam. I think I got Zap Spark. I've got most of the names. So who's getting the Yagaminon? Who's getting the first? Well, let's sterilize first. Sterilize with ultraviolet to make sure everybody is hygienic. Since the reason I do this is, for those who don't know, the streams first started on YouTube during the pandemic, which is still ongoing, but nobody talks about it anymore because it's boring, apparently. And during that time, it was just jokingly, because everybody was about, sterilize and stay away from each other. That's when we started the fake ultraviolet sterilization. This is a mechanic's ultraviolet light for detecting leaks. It's a very useful light. It's a good form. The flashy thing, what happened? The flashy thing. Well, I do notice that the fireplace isn't. Oh, it is running. Well, the flashy thing, what happened? What? Tonight, you'll be glad to know, happy little fox, that you're actually purple, which is the complete opposite end of the spectrum from the orange that you prefer to be. Us introverts were already doing it, but exactly, it was like, everybody saying, stay away from each other, and it was like, good, yes, that's what we want. Man in Black, oh, the flashy thing, yeah, it does look a bit like the Men in Black type one, doesn't it? So, the first Yagaminon, let me think. Justifiable things. Shave head. The head, not in the middle of winter, Horavac, no. Adverts. Oh, you're getting adverts? Uh-oh. Are they good adverts? It's random chat at the beginning. It's not too critical because I know there aren't adverts at the beginning. It's what pays for the service, ultimately. So let me think. Things to okay, tell you what. To the mechanics. Napa, not a sponsor. Those who watch South Main Auto know what that's about. You'll be glad to know that's full of isopropyl alcohol. The wiffle will be different tonight. To the mechanics. Spraying brake clean everywhere like there's no tomorrow, as they can justifiably do. And all the people saying, oh no, you mustn't do that. Well, fix your own car then. Oh no. The larger Iceland. What? Yes, you do need to do something about the hair situation. Is it a bit wild? It's just how it goes. That's what it is. I can't really tell. Yeah, anyway. Oh, I've not even got a video image yet here, but that's all right. It's just how it is. Now I have, That's how my hair looks. That's how it is. I don't care. Flamethrower. Yes, creme Bastille. But have you seen the flamethrower that is being sold online? It's very good. And it basically has a little sort of container, what you might call a kettle, a little fuel tank of gasoline, petrol. And at the base of it is, they've got a 12-volt battery with three 18650 cells. And that is powering, when you pull the trigger, it does two things. It powers a high-voltage igniter in the front, with just a sustained spark. And it powers a small inline, high-pressure fuel pump with a small orifice then, so it fires out a jet of the petrol. And basically speaking, it's fire on demand. You just click, and it just jets of flame come out. Very nice. Almost tempted. Almost tempted. Are you running 70% or 99% in the spray bottle? Not sure, Michael. Not sure what the percentage is. It's hard to test that anyway. I suppose you could test conductivity. Real J Tripping to Mike and the Mechanics. Looking back over my shoulder, indeed. See, at least I know one of the tracks. Was he a mechanic? Were they mechanics? Have you heard about the ROC bunker about falling to sea? I've not, Steve RPCB. But I suppose land erosion is a thing that goes on. Can live with a lukewarm shower. Good. I think you might have to. So I have now completely I've just released the video on Patreon of the electric shower. Let me show you a bit of the electric shower. I featured this last week. It's a Dolphin electric shower. It's a vintage one, and it does have the heat element in the water, and then it's got another one that is connected with these two terminals, and it snakes round like that. And then it's got this safety circuit which connects between here and here, and it's got a contact in here, and it's very interesting. I thought the contact was made in normal operation, but it's not. The contact, because it's vertical, is made at the moment because there's no water flow. That is important. The two things that can trip this contact are loss of water flow and also the bimetallic strip here bending up enough that it actually pushes the contact over gradually until it touches. And when it does, it turns the whole shower off. It latches off at that point because it's an over temperature extreme situation. But the amazing thing is that these metal strips here slide off. Let me show you the gubbins and the old one I took apart. Here is the broken heating element in the other one, because it was like a second-hand unit I got off eBay. But when you have this assembled together, that heating element would normally go through there. And then this has O-rings in it, and it clips together. And when you put the two bits together, you slide those metal rails on, and it clamps it all together in a watertight manner. So you can actually open this up. And technically speaking, I'm not going to do it, but I could change this heating element because you can still buy them online. There's still old stock of these heating elements that it comes in a compressed format and you just stretch it to suit. But yeah, that 240 volt heating element is sitting in the water that you're spraying yourself with the shower with. But the circuitry was interesting. Second-hand unit from eBay, probably sold spares and repairs, but I get the feeling that people will buy an old shower. But this one was being sold as spares and repairs, and when you see the bits that are in it, it's utterly serviceable. Everything about it. Let me show you another bit of it. With modern showers, when you adjust the water flow knob to fine-tune the temperature, because you've only got fixed temperatures, you've got one element or two elements. So you adjust the final temperature by adjusting the water flow. The more flow there is, the colder the water is, the less flow there is, so you fine-tune it to what you want. But the modern showers are just very basic. It's a very coarse sort of like a adjustment that as you screw it in and out, it restricts the flow of water. It means that if someone flushes the toilet or does something in the house or turns on another shower or runs the bath while you're showering, the sudden change in water pressure can result in a temperature increasing. Not with this one. This one is a full-on flow and pressure regulator. And if I unscrew this bit, you can see there's a spring in here. And as you turn the temperature down, it pushes that spring out further, pushes more tension on a diaphragm in here. And that diaphragm has a little valve that, depending on the pressure in that, it regulates the flow to the pressure you've actually set. It's almost like a full pressure valve, but it doesn't. If you were to stick a pressure gauge in this, it would just go up to the full mains pressure. It's not quite as accurate as the diaphragm, simple diaphragm and orifice pressure valve. This thing is chunky. Lots of machined brass. This was not a cheap shower to make. A turd going through that thing is going to change the flow for sure. Yes, that would happen. It might struggle to get through the solenoid valve first, which does have an orifice, although this is spectacularly clean in there. Did they clean it? I don't think so. It just looks like it's been a clean installation. You could pay more for thermostatic like Mirror Sport Max. I'm seeing some secondhand Mirror online. I'm not sure how good they are. Triton electric showers, I should have had them leak when you more than once. It all depends on installation. I like Triton because it's cheap and functional and simple. The simpler the better. Good old screw assembly, no super glue or one-way plastic rivets. Indeed, everything can be opened and serviced in this shower. So it's not full arse cave-in proof. What? Horovac, to answer that, your orifice expands. I do have something that came from AliExpress. I'm never going to be able to show it on YouTube. It's a adult toy, but it's got an interesting feature that I had to find what was in it because it was randomly, it appeared in the bundle deal, and it's like, what the heck is that? It's interesting. Ass pump, Crumvistala. Kind of, but not, but also yes. It's got a little air compressor in it. It's got solenoid valves and it's got the vibrator motor. And it looks at, I could show it here, Gons of the Great. I could show it here. But I'm going to have to, I'll maybe wait till later on so I don't alienate everybody and everybody leaves in horror. It's not full of mercury. That's optional. You'd have to put the mercury in it yourself. We can show it here. Anything is a dildo if you're brave enough, the Belmet. I'll show you this and you can determine if you're brave enough to actually do something with this. I'll just put my brass valve back through. Even in that shower, even this full-on ABB contactor was interesting because it's actually got a DC coil and a rectifier, and the front plate, it's quite interesting, its construction. I opened it fully in the video and all the springs popped out. What a surprise. But it turns out, I was working out, where do those springs go back in? It turns out once you've assembled the contactor completely, see these two little apertures at the top, you compress the springs, you could do it with tweezers, poke them down it, and they pop out into position properly in the correct place. And then you just take this other bit and you just pop it on the top. Very neat. Also, if you screw this into a panel, you can actually, well, let me show you. This is more spoilers for the actual video. If you screw this into the panel, you can ease the contactor out like this, but leave the base in so you can just clip a new contactor in. And while you're in here, you might want to just change the coil perhaps. It just slides out the bottom. And interestingly, there's the core of the thing. There's the armature plate that normally rides on that. Well, let me show you. This is spoilers, by the way. It's going to ruin the video for you, except no, it's not showing everything. But this is the little armature plate that normally goes click to actually change the state of the contactor. But when you put it in here, the way it goes together, this goes in like that. And then this little armature plate, you put the little stud that stops it sticking, that little bit there. It just drops in like that. That's it in position. And also, the AC coming in, there's a voltage transient suppressor. There's a resistor in line to limit peak current for some reason. Then there's a bridge rectifier. The transient suppressor is just across these contacts. Then there's a bridge rectifier, and it says it's good for between 40 to about 460 hertz, because it is converting the AC to DC, and that will also reduce the noise. It's an interesting little contactor. It's a very expensive little contactor. Maybe that's just because it's an old one. And the contact, you take that plate out, knowing those springs are in there, you can then take the contacts out as well. It's very, I mean, I don't think you'd want to service it really, but it is serviceable if you were to choose to do so. Let me put that round the right way. That would be better. That'll go in better if I put it round the right way. Sit that cover plate down. Talking about serviceable, there's a key cutting machine in the local supermarket. And it's quite nice because it's got a big video monitor on the front of it, as these things tend to do. Make sure I put this back the right way. Click, all back together. And it normally shows the guy, just in this, while it's in standby, it shows the guy in the full outfit for the key cutter, just cleaning his tools and polishing his stuff and then just looking at keys or checking his stock. And it's just basically, it's video of an actor, but it's an automated machine. And for the past week, it's been displaying preparing your key. And it's been locked up because it's either crashed or something's gone wrong inside. And they're not servicing it. Nuts and browders here. Bonsoir. Or bonsoiree would be better, to be honest. Have a party, it's the weekend. Use those contactors to eliminate bumper and flipper feedback in virtual pinball machines. Virtual pinball machines. Oh, you emulate the noise, just go dung dung dung. Oh, right, so you use them to emulate the sound of thumping, like knocker solenoids. Constant velocity, greetings. Never thought of that. Certainly, the pinball machines, like these ones, all have a knocker solenoid at the side. When you get a match, they'll fire just a solenoid. All its purpose is to make a loud crack noise on the side of the case, just to let you know you got a free game, or whatever. Do they have big vibratory motors as well inside? Because you used to get the shakers inside the pinball machines. Electrically violent machines. You know what? See that? Have they tried turning it off and on again? That was the first thing that came to my mind, the Belmont. Because it may have locked up, or if it has, it may actually clear itself. But maybe they've been told, don't turn it off and on again if it's in the middle of a transaction. Who knows? But it's like their coffee machine. The coffee machine is very good. It's a standard Costa coffee machine, but if it goes wrong, the most common thing that's been going wrong is occasionally the filter blocks up and it does its best to squeeze the coffee through it, but then it gives up after a while and just says, sorry, I'm really embarrassing, I've gone wrong. But then it resets and enables itself and goes wrong again later on, but it never quite serves the coffee. It doesn't take money, it gives you a receipt that you then scan. But it takes ages for that to get fixed. It's just out of service for ages until they can get somebody, presumably, a service engineer to come across, their Tesco service engineer to come and maintain it, because it's overseas. The console version of the classics is very censored. What is that? Pinball machines are really expensive. I tried to buy one. They are now. I paid between £100 and £200 for my pinball machines because I bought them before it was fashionable to collect pinball machines. I bought them when they were still in the arcades and there were boxes, and the other option was them smashing the machine up and putting it in a skip or dumpster. If you get the coffee maker here, I could fix it. Cyberlight, I could fix it too, but you know what? I'm not getting involved in that. I wonder if Liz is here. Liz is here. Liz has been here. Automated fairy floss and a stick went wrong. Spectacular. What went wrong with it? Those things are quite complex. They actually use water to wash out the candy head. But I have seen the ones when they've actually either dropped the stick or they've done weird things and just jammed midway. And there's one in Douglas, but it's in a very astronomically designer Chinese food shop where the stuff is astronomically overpriced to the point of just beyond belief. And it was something daft. Can't remember what it was, but I think it was £10 for a candy floss out the machine at the front. And it was like, if they priced it properly, it would get used. It's just, I don't get that greed thing. I'd love some pinball machines even broke to fix up Space and Issue, however. Demonics, you're not going to get even a really faulty machine with damage, broken glass, everything, goes for a high price these days because they've become a designer collectible thing. Flemgob, that was your rant. Clive, you should have bought a Vector pinball machine. I would have liked a Vector, Steve R. PCB. Not a great game, but the speech and the congested playfield was very good. I am a PAC, Play Analysis Computer, for your Vector game plan. Stick dropped, couldn't clean properly. Found nice pinball, but they were almost 10,000. You can buy new ones these days. They've become back in fashion, but they're overcomplicated. Shoot for Vector Scan. Indeed. The last time I played Vector, the only time I played Vector, probably really, was in the Drawn Out Sports Centre in East Kilbride ages ago. And I used to go to the... was it John? Yes. I used to go to the gym and then go up to the cafe. And there was one there, but they removed it. It had a short circuit in the switch matrix, and instead of fixing it because they couldn't fix it, they just took it out and resited it somewhere else or took it back to the workshop. All stupid, but it is Mr. Eggcake. It's all fixed odd betting terminals. It's so frustrating seeing people play roulette on a fixed odd betting terminal, and you want to tell them that you'd actually have a higher chance with a real roulette table. Even one in Las Vegas, the horrible corporate roulette wheels that don't have just one zero, which is the house's edge, but they have the double zero green as well, and more. And, even those, the worst roulette table would be better odds than a fixed odd betting terminal. But they just play it. It's human nature. The Addams Family pinball was good, Mr. Eggcake. A bit quirky, troublesome, but very good. Chrysamomart, back in the 80s, a friend asked to repair a pinball machine and fruit machine. They both had stored in a garage that housed a tumble dryer that vented into, presumably, that same space, and they were all corroded. Oh no, it gets worse. You're saying, look at an electromechanical pinball machine, says Red Queen Running. Look at an electromechanical Dutch bingo machine, which is just so massively complex because it's got all the number cards slide against each other and change the odds. They are just the pinnacle of overcomplicated electromechanical stuff, almost as bad as an Otis elevator. A fully restored Adams is pushing 20,000 now. That's terrible. You can look online. Go and look for bingo pinball. Bingo pinball should find it. Ridiculously complex. You could buy a mini Moog instead. What's the connection between Moog and the arcade industry? Mog. The answer is that some of the games, the little hockey type games, all the electronics and sound effects were done by Moog, and the scoring system. Don't mind me, just having to flush the wife's pick line. I don't even know what that pick line thing is. Place your bets now. Grauco horse racing game. They were great, and the roulette, I loved those machines. Didn't play them much. Maybe a wee bit. But place your bets now. Red wins. No more bets, please. It's pronounced Moog. Oh, right, so it wasn't Moog or Mog, it's Moog. Okay, that's fine. Pick line for getting medicine instead of regular IV. Aha. Did your Discord get hacked a while ago back? Heard a few people say they were getting weird DMs from you about hiring tax attorneys and stuff. What? Don't know about that. Not me? Dunno. I've not been in Discord for absolutely ages. Greetings, pie floater. Let me partake of more coffee. Oh, Zap Sparky, how a co-worker with people putting all their wages. Some people are totally into gambling to ridicule. You just have to look for those videos of people throwing just rage tantrums in Las Vegas because they've just literally blown all their money in these machines. Just terrible. I like the machines. I don't play them. Tony Webb, simple rule with pub fruit machines was £2, then leave it. No, the simple rule with pub fruit machines is to wait until someone's spent all their money in it and not won, and then it's probably close to getting, if they didn't get paid out in the vicinity of when they were playing at the end, that's the time to go to the machine because it will be approaching its percentage that it has to pay out. I didn't know you had a Discord server. There was a Discord server set up for Technical Family. There's two of them because there was a feud. And then it split into two. But it's not my Discord server as such. I don't have an official one. Watching the lorry drivers playing roulette and blackjack on the overnight ferry betwixt Harwich and Hook of Holland was very depressing, yes. Do you know what they do here on the Isle of Man? The people who don't have so much resources, they get together and play poker together so that the money stays within the circle, that there's no corporate entity taking the money. TV license are supposed to be doing some sort of deal with YouTube. That could be disaster. Here's what they're doing, is the BBC has decided that it can't, it's possibly getting rid of iPlayer because it's now realising that it's a small player. It's just a small fish in the ocean compared to YouTube. YouTube has dominated. It's taken over the BBC. So the BBC is saying, well, let's come to a deal and we'll put our stuff on YouTube so it can be viewed. But there's a possibility they're going to then imply that because they've got stuff on YouTube that people need to pay a license to watch their content on YouTube. And you know what it's like, you see videos pop up and then you look at it and then realise, oh shit, this is BBC content on YouTube. But what I'd like, if they do that, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have a checkbox that says, tick this box if you don't have a TV licence and we won't show you any of the BBC crap. And Capita can go and fuck themselves. And then I'll make videos showing you where to find that box and why you should click it and basically just blackball the BBC out of existence. That was a rant. Not a rant. They're just the mouthpiece of the English government. Flemgob, the BBC is state propaganda. Absolutely the government stance, who you should vote for and things like that, and why you shouldn't vote for independence, and very just unscrupulous behaviour. Horrible organisation. Which is a shame, because the technical people that work at the BBC are great. The people that actually do all the prop making for the production companies that make stuff for the BBC are great, but the management of the BBC and all their inbred children are not great. What's the time? It is whoosher time. I shall put my spudger and this contactor through, and we shall whoosh. Pump it up. Pump it up. Is this a good idea? No. Hold on. Oh, right, okay. This is going to result in much longer woofles with less smoke. Hold on. Ready? Testing. Oh, yeah, actually. Yeah, quite significant ones. Is the fire extinguisher handy? Yes. Is this supposed to be in fire? I like the way that once you've soaked this in fuel, it basically just self-ignites. I'll just try not to scorch the microphone. And you can just repeatedly light the lighter. Right, okay. Yes. Brag, ranty, rant. That's right. How much longer till Clive burns his house down? Will I get a new one if I do that? I don't want to ruin my overall collection. I'm happily paying my TV licence, says CJ Walwork. Well, if you watch is there good content in the BBC? I don't know. I used to pay it out of just purely out of fear of all the threats I was getting when I was young, even though I didn't have a TV. That I hold that against them greatly. Capita. Just who owns Capita? Try searching for that online. Who are the directors of Capita? And you won't. They've censored. They don't want people to know who they are. Probably because people would go and kill them or something like that. I hear Ireland is wanting a media licence now, so you have to pay any media. You already had to pay a TV licence just owning a TV. Even if it's unplugged in a shed, you still have to pay. Yeah, it's a bit... How much is the home insurance? It's fine, yes. Keep in mind the place is suitably treated, and I am fire aware. I am, I'm not one of these people that goes, oh no, the curtains are on fire, what will I do? I'm the sort of person who'd rush over and quench them I could or just rip them off and chuck them outside. You're not going to, it's actually better than your average people. You've seen these videos where people are, instead of actually dealing with a fire right there and then, they run out of the room and scream, and it's just like, fucking put the fire out, you stupid arsehole. That was a rant. QI was good. Is it on BBC? I see snippets of QI on YouTube, on their own channel, I think. I never watch TV. I'm in Canada and only watch this internet stuff. That's a good choice. First time seeing Clive on here, I come on to watch my daughter. Right. Is your daughter in the vicinity? Because I was going to show a adult toy later on. I'll give you lots of warning before that happens. I am a twisted fire starter. QI's better fry? I'm not so sure. But yes, it's because he's abstract. Totally weird and autistic and gay, literally. Doomnoob, how y'all... Oh, I haven't been able to find the Ampere episode I'm thinking of, but I still for some reason think Big Clive was the guy who was really good at LEDs, and he was interviewed about some of the more deeper knowledge on them, such as disabling one unit in a bulb array, and suddenly improve lifespan immensely. MD happen to know if that's right. I've been wanting to try this, drill a little hole, then disable one element. It's not removing one LED. It depends what you're doing, but you can doobie. If you search my channel for Doobie, D-O-O-B-Y, it's based on Dubai lamps, which did this. You can downgrade particularly modern, simple LED lamps. Harder if all the electronics is behind the LED panel, but you can do things like change resistors or just snip one resistor out and change the power rating of a lamp, and it will last a lot longer. Do you have in-date smoke detectors and do you test them weekly? I've got one that I installed recently. And I do test my smoke detectors. Do you guys test your smoke detectors? I test mine. It's not an adult toy. It's well, I'll let you judge whether it's going to be healthy if you put it up there, because when you see what it does, and it's like, because I was looking at the pictures on AliExpress thinking, that's dangerous. That could injure you. No, she is 30s and does drawings. Aha. Sandy Toxvik was the host. Yeah, I can't pronounce that. Toxvik. Who is autismic and gay? All of us, Mr. Eggcake. But Stephen Fry, notably, with a bizarre history. How'd you test yours? Just the test button, because it does theoretically emulate a detection. I don't blow stuff into it. I've got a posh smoke detector because I had a problem because I don't really heat the house in winter, the standard ionization smoke detectors and other ones were detecting ambient, I suppose, a change in atmospheric conditions at night, and they were going off at night. And when a shone of laser, you could see a slight haze because the Isle of Man, it gets engulfed by what they call Manannan's cloak, which is a late night fog comes down the mountain, like that film The Fog. But yeah, so I had a few false alarms. Fortunately, I was up at the time. I wouldn't like to wake up middle of the night to the sudden alarm going off. But I was actually awake and I thought, what, that's the alarm. I'd run through and yeah, nothing. Absolutely no indication of anything that could have triggered it. But two of them did it. But I've got a new one out there now that is a posher brand, different brand. We'll see how it goes. Dubai chocolate is overrated, that's right. My optical smoke alarm goes off if I use too much deodorant. Reasonable enough, the Belmet, because that is airborne particles. But I thought a radarized heat detector would actually be better in my house. Sprinklers would be good in my house. Not in here, though. Obviously, that wouldn't be great. I think Stephen Fry would be a great father figure. He is. He just tears into religion with serious logical stuff. There is a channel just voiced by Stephen Fry. It's good. He has a certain authoritative voice. I ended up in Manannan's cloak last time I was up Snaefell. It's Rodders NI. How many times have I been up at Snaefell, which is our little mountain, Isle of Man? And they say you can see all the continents around the Isle of Man. No, you can't. It's always foggy up there. Only Echo smokes for me in domestic settings. Ah, is that a posh brand? He annoys me, I don't know why. Stephen Fry isn't well liked in real life. He's a bit snobby, phlegm-gob. Keep in mind that people don't really totally click with autistic people in many ways. It's going to be a bit weird, and also people will never talk about the negative things of people. That they probably went up to him, and he probably gets harassed by fans all the time, and he was probably tired. And then they're the ones that are like, instead of going, "Oh wow, he was great, I met him," they're like, "Oh, he's a bastard." That's what happens. Yeah, Grauco, have you seen the cost of those vape detectors? The ones that can actually snitch and listen and everything. That's such an intrusive thing. I hope the kids bypass them. Did you enjoy Vice Grip Garage's latest video? I didn't see that one. I'm just averse to posh people. See, he's not that posh. The subscription is astronomical. It is. It's just another Grauco. It's another way of making money. It's like the clean air rules they introduce. It's all got vested interests and ongoing contracts. The listening device is called the Echo Dot. Yes, Bad Wolf, that is true. Any progress by a workshop? I just stopped. I should have bought that place and just got over it. And but finding any place in Isle of Man now is just because any time a property becomes available, property speculators swoop in and use it as an investment, and either just sits rotten, or they try and cash in by saying, "Oh, hey, you can put your local business in here for £40,000 a year." No. I'm not famous as Naismith, but I'm an asshole in real life. That's reasonable enough. Too much upkeep in that place, money pit. No, I don't know. See what happened, dunno. Someone's in it now. But you have a workshop already. Kind of. The workshop is the garage here in this place. I mean, I could just empty this place. I could get a big skip and I could empty everything into it. That would help. Oh. Maybe you could rent a garage from a neighbour or just buy their house when they pop their clogs. That's what I should do. My neighbour that way has a very full garage, and the neighbour that way probably wouldn't. It's not a big garage, so no. That's one huge advantage of moving to northern Finland. Property is very cheap. Ah. Who was I looking at recently? It was a Cam of Blue Tech, formerly, well, he still does stuff with Tacamo HD, but he moved in, he was renting an industrial unit, and it was astronomically expensive for what I would consider a small unit. And you're thinking, this is the coldest part of Canada. It's just like, why would it be expensive? The answer probably being industrial and they just cash in it. The money is in the cloud system alerting them to the activations, Grauco. Why do you want to throw away your stuff to make way for new stuff? It's okay, Mouse. I'll keep you in mind and I'll fill a box of stuff for you. Do you even have any space for that? I could build a bunker. I was told that this was swampland that flooded. I don't see that because it's on a hill, and generally swamps aren't on hills. The guy that told me that he had mental health problems. He used to live with his mum next door. And then there was a bit of a family falling out because apparently he opened credit cards in her name and then just started spending her money. And then he got evicted. And he came over here and said, can I come and live here instead? And it was like, no, sorry, I'd recommend you go down to the police station and they can help sort you out with accommodation. And then he came back and there was like just lots of shouting, and then the police called again, and but he just talked nonsense all the time. Two boxes. Bring a van, Mouse. Hang out from the ceiling like Wallace and Gromit. Storage goes up to the roof. It does. Once, I'm going to have to deal with the roof in here this year. It's a flat roof, this area, and flat roofs are always a freaking nightmare. I'm always up patching it up. It's just, it's reached the end of its useful life, but to do anything before I get it roofed, I'm going to have to get the pinball machines out of here and move them to another room. Before I do that, I'm going to have to get rid of the sofa and the seats because I don't use them anyway. They just eat space. And then I can get this re-roofed and then properly shelved out with stuff to make more space. Not aware of all that crap until you died. What is this about? Hold on, I have to know what this conversation is about. Went to a clinic, an ivermectin clinic. What? No, I don't know. I've lost track of this. Ivermectin is a valid thing, but not for COVID. Yeah, bemused. Technical folk go silent when a small part gets dropped. Have you done that? You drop something and you just go into, not just silent, but you go into wide angle peripheral vision mode just to see where it hits. Please toast Scott Adams of the Dilbert cartoons. That's true. That he could. I don't really watch the Dilbert cartoons, but I know of them. Ivermectin is a horse murmur. Yes, Ralph gave me some tubes of it during the pandemic. It's not. It doesn't do anything with COVID. That was a myth that was spread around by another country out of desperation. Were giving their medical staff ivermectin on a hunch, which it's a very effective horse murmur. Can be used in humans as well, but they do make pills for humans. Watchmaking, 10% of watchmaking school, we were janitors looking for parts we dropped. Absolutely. Carpet is not your friend. Cluttered spaces are not your friend. Ivermectin for cancer, oh God, no. That's not a good idea. It kills worm infestations. That it's a worming pill or paste. Anyway, gadgets other things that arrived from AliExpress other than the adult toy. I will show you that though. And then you can give it a rating out of 10 for danger. So one of the things I bought, I was down to my last Molex contact, so I got a roll of the Molex because it is a standard connector. Thinking, are they going to be super standard? And kind of, they can be made to fit in my standard shelves that I've got here, but they're not. Tolerance is just that tiny little bit off. Where these rejects are, where is it just because there's a little bit of tolerance? And you kind of have to use each manufacturer's one with its appropriate things. That's probably the closest thing. It's like XLR connectors or power lock connectors. You're better using matching sets. But it works, but it's not ideal. I got 500 of them. But thankfully they're not super duper mega expensive. I usually buy rolls of 1,000, but at massively like 10 times the price of these. But these, once you've wiggled it a bit, the wee pin does click in and latches, and it makes a connection. AM Americium 241 is mainly alpha, indeed. I mean, it's detectable. Let me demonstrate that right now. Hold on, let me grab my scintillation detector. Ready? This is on mute. Oh, how do I change it from? There we go. So that's it ticking now, right? Here is a radiation capsule, the alpha emitter capsule. So you're getting the decaying. As the alpha particles decay, or the alpha emitter decays, you get that, you get other higher electron volt particles coming off. I'm not a nuclear physicist. I'm not radioactive Drew. Most amusing thing recently, seeing radioactive Drew's radiation detectors being tested as he went on a wee tour around a radiation place, and all his equipment had much higher level radiation than everybody else's. Let me see if I can actually even remember how to turn this off. This, I'm going to have to maybe read the manual for this somehow, or maybe, you know. How do you turn this off again? Yeah, see, this is, they've put too many menu functions into this thing to the point that you can never, oh, there it goes. You have to read the manual to know how to turn it off. Other than that, it's fantastic. It is, I mean, its software is amazing. It's like its app and its own software and everything integrates so well. It's how everybody should do it. Hitting the edge of the desk, no, the epoxy. It's a very, very expensive toy, but a very good toy. It's a scintillation radiation detector that can actually measure by the amplitude of the flash, it can detect the electron volts, and it can give you an analysis, a spectrogram of the energy, and give you suggestions as what the radioactive material you're analyzing could be. It's very, very good. I think it's just because they tried to put too much into it, but that's okay. If I used it a lot, I'd get familiar with it. It's like when I had to dig out my Keysight oscilloscope recently, every time, because I don't use it a lot, every time I use it is a bit of a chore because you have to get used to its menu system again. Here is a light from AliExpress. Ooh. Is it charged? It is. Is it going to strobe? Low intensity setting. Hold on. Lower intensity setting. And off. High, medium, low, much pulse width modulation? No, not really. Bit of pulse width modulation visible here. And off. What if I press and hold it? Is it going to do SOS? No, it's just strictly high, medium, and low, and off. That's what it should be, but it's very light. It's not feeling heavy. I get the feeling this might be a project to stuff with batteries yourself, but it is sold as a sort of mechanics light. Eric O was featuring a mechanics light. Was it... which company is it that his mechanic lights he was featuring? Something Pneumatics. Is it something Pneumatics? And the light, it was quite good because you just stuck it to the magnetic bracket in the wall, or magnetic pad, and it inductively charged. That was quite good. Joe Boat Wrench, this is way more fun without politics. Just ignore all the politics if they happen in the chat. Can you hold your radioactive detector up to a smoke detector? I just did. This very second. Anyway, the next thing from AliExpress. These are very suspicious. Vago type push-in terminals, but smaller. Do you think they're going to have... I'm going to take one out and test it before I make the video about this. Do you think it's going to have the little brass bus bar or copper bus bar? Or do you think it's just going to be a punched piece of stainless steel and that's all that's inside? I'm going to guess, to be honest, that these will be the suspicious ones that may not have the copper bus bar and they're not suitable for high current or indeed any wires at all. Old gas mantles are radioactive CG wallwork indeed, and the Tilly lamp ones, they're based on thorium. My dad had loads because he was into gas lights and Tilly lamps, and I've got it upstairs in a jar. I'm told you shouldn't have it in a jar, it just holds all the radiation back. It should be out in the open, but it's in there and it's well marked. That's what it is. Lofty73 says, astrology. My dad was worried about a D cell leakage on my genes. It can be, depends on the D cell. Zinc chloride is quite aggressive corrosive chemical. That was the time that I was trying to, having read all the warnings about zinc chloride, I made a concentrated solution of zinc chloride and then just everything went wrong and the bottle burst and it just all over me, doused me in zinc chloride. And it was just like run to the shower, fully clothed, and just go into the shower and just washing it all off to protect the clothing and me from it. That's one of those little moments you have. Now, will I go and get the bad thing? Will I go and get the bad thing? I shall go and get the bad thing. I shall also bring up my pink unicorn, which is not the bad thing. And at this point, I'll give you another warning, but I'm going to get an adult toy that came from AliExpress and show you, and you can gauge it for safety. One moment, please. And here is your second warning. Kidney disturber, kidney obliterator, bad dragon thing. It's worse. Anyway, so just so you know, right, just in case you've joined the stream, I'm about to show you a technical gadget that came from AliExpress, and it is an adult toy. It's a sex toy, and it's got a disturbing feature, right? So here it is, and you think, well, that's all right. What could be harmful about that? So let me just turn this on. and it's got a remote control. Now, you've got the vibration modes. I can control that from here. Right, okay, lovely. And it's got all the different modes. You think, okay, that's fine. Let me turn it back on again. But here's the disturbing mode. Watch this. And yeah, is that vibrating, or is it... can you see what's happening here? Can you see what's happening here? Anyway, I'll just hold that to the side and continue chatting. It's a big black rubber cock. Reminds me of Lock, Stock and Two Smoke. Oh, of course they had that. Can you see what's happening here? And you can stop it. And you can start it again. Will it explode? Why not just add a hand pump? Well, because it's remote control and you might want to feel as if someone's doing things to you, apparently. Is it going to explode? That'd make a good video, wouldn't it? But at this point, are your intestines going to explode, is the question. And it says it's got a pressure switch, right? So it can't go too high. I would say no. Maybe it's got a limit to the point it can pressure, but that is still expanding with me pushing hard against it really hard. And it just gets bigger and bigger. At what point is it going to cause problems? Does it shrink remotely? Ready? Yes. But imagine if it malfunctioned. Now, do you think that's safe? What if someone... is this going to kill people? Is it going to cause septicemia because people injure themselves and they're too scared to call an ambulance? It's a fun noise though, yeah. I kind of want to open it up. Also, if you turn the power off, if the power fails, it automatically releases. The default is to release the safety valve. A catheter works in a similar way, but not that diameter. That will pop at some point. If it does pop, is the shockwave of pressure going to rupture your intestines? Or the lady bits? What if the battery in the remote dies? There is a button here, but you might have to pull it out to a degree to actually get to a couple of buttons here. And there are 3 ports in and out, which appears to be the air. I don't know why they said that, because then there's a DC charging port here, so I guess you're not supposed to stick it right up, because then it would get all juicy in its charging port. But there we go. Blow your ass or letterbox out. You can push all the buttons, Clive. Indeed. Maybe you can use this, actually. You can wedge it in car doors and then turn your vibratron that just bursts the door open with high pressure. You need to start an OnlyFans to take those kind of things apart. Indeed, Craig Matthews. They do make free... You can set up a free channel on OnlyFans that I could feature things like this. And because you're not a horse, yes. Blow up your bum box. Trailer hitch, that's for MR Hand. Oh, Mr. Hand, yes. Can you fill it with anything? It's air. I don't know. There is a port that says in and out, but I don't think it probably contains one of the little wobble play air pumps inside. But yes, intriguing. Well, now I know. It was the most expensive item in the order, and it's ironically the one I can't show on YouTube, because YouTube just doesn't get that. Partly because even if the AI algorithm thing doesn't detect it, someone will say, "Oh, I'm reporting this video. He showed a sex toy and I'm offended." So you can't show that stuff on YouTube. Anyway, I'll just put this through. I'll just put it up. No. So on the subject of ass rupturing big dildos, this is the cam switch out of that shower. It's quite interesting because it's a custom unit. And it's odd because the switches, there's the 3 white button switches are for general control, but this is the high current one, and it's normally it's closed. And in normal operation, it's actually held in by the this, and it's actually when it releases that it actually switches, but it is switching about 20 amps. And the cam, that line there, is because I was trying to work out, you know, you can't totally see the switches when this is in situ, but it was operating them in a really, it was operating in a very staggered, overlapping manner for specific functions. That took me a lot of time to reverse engineer. It took me too long, and it was like, I was just like, almost pulling the hair out if there had been any hair to pull out, because, affiliate link. I suppose I could provide an affiliate. Will I provide you an affiliate link to a sex toy that could literally rupture your ass and cause internal hemorrhaging? I mean, if you want. Hold on. AliEx. Use it responsibly if you really must. I mean, I know people get things like that up there, and there's bad dragons, so it can accommodate a modest size. Winter sale. Check out for a chance to save. What's this going to be under? Remote. Remote. There it goes. Huge inflatable anal plug vibrator dildo men remote control prostate. It's about 15 quid, just so you know. But that's, pales into insignificance when you... Or that it came up in a bundle deal, so you may be able to go to a bundle deal afterwards. It's not available in the affiliate program in your selected country region. This is probably a good thing. Hold on. I'll give you a standard link then. It'll be a bit more time consuming to get this link because I have to crop it down to get all rid of the shit off the end. It also apparently gives you my order list. Does it give you the order list? Then you could see all the things I was about to feature. Right, let me just go back to Twitch and drop this link for a terrible thing that could injure you. That's it. Here we go. Pow. There you go. Knock yourself out, as they say. £15 quality then. Quality by AliExpress standards, not by your local sex shop standard where everything costs an awful lot for a piece of rubber. If your prostate's that far up your arse, you have a whole host of other issues, Americans perhaps. Horrivac. That's a terrible thing to say. Besides, I think it's more about getting past the prostate and just applying pressure inside. I don't know. I'm not an expert in such things. eBay is full of this stuff. It didn't used to be. eBay used to be quite prudish. They wouldn't sell smoky or vaping things. They wouldn't sell sex toys. They wouldn't sell anything that is the slightest bit shady. But now eBay is up for absolutely everything. The only thing they stop is useful chemicals. You should take the list of things people ordered with your affiliate link and show it in a video. I want to see what sort of things they're getting. Hold on. I can give you hints of things because it's not just... If they visit one of the affiliate links, it puts a little cookie on that lasts for 3 days, and any further purchases they make also gives me commission, theoretically. This could turn me into a greedy influencer. That's not going to happen. I feature cheap stuff. But over the past 7 days, people paid for 2,106 items, apparently. Okay, tools, reports, transaction product report. So it was mainly electronic components supplies, then it was home improvement, then tools, consumer electronics, home garden, lights and lighting, computer and office, toys and hobbies, automobile parts and accessories, phone, telecommunications and others. And the top item is the little battery charge test module. Followed, right, the little battery capacity tester. It's followed by the LCD microscope. Good call. I use that a lot. Then it's the Lego streetlights. Then another lithium-ion battery tester. Why is it appearing twice? Then something that doesn't even have a picture or a description. SMA female RP. What is that? BNC UHF. What? Don't know. Connectors? Extra large handles closed storage bag. What? 10-star ESP32 Super Mini development, that's reasonable enough. RGB coloured light WS2812B, that's reasonable enough. And 30mm LED illuminated arcade button. I'm not just the person that likes the illuminated buttons, you all like them too. But anyway, back to the stream. Uncle Mutt, sorry this item's currently unavailable in your location. It depends where you are in the world. They sometimes do that. They get bigger. Have you seen the one that occasionally pops up and it's this Chinese person holding this thing that it looks like it's that long and it's so big and it says, warning, do not overinflate or you may burst. And it's like, well, that's just, are people putting these up? What size is their internal cavity? They could smuggle in entire televisions up their rectum probably by the time they finish with that into prison. I can't buy a knife. Oh, Evolution sent a gift. I cleaned this out and it was really smooth and now it's not anymore because one of the things I was looking at recently, it's not flicking out as easily, was full of sand because it was just sand and packing compound in it. And it's got sand, so I'm going to have to clean it out again. But I'll just poke at a sharp blade. BCDC laser etched blades. Not a product, not a merch item, although maybe Evolution would do them for you if you asked them. Chib. It is a chib. That's a Glaswegianism, I think, is it not? Chibs. And tongs, you bass. Tongs being a crime gang, but the chib was a traditional ethnic knife, but it was adopted by the Scots because it was just knives in Glasgow were a big thing. We're not allowed guns, so they used knives instead. Put it down, Clive. Absolutely, before I stab myself. Brad Dropshaw, salutations, indeed. Maybe Uyghur Chinese factory workers who probably get very confused making all the huge adult ties. What they do with this? They put up rectum? No! I explode if I put that up rectum! I'm wearing a leather kilt. That doesn't surprise me, Brad Robshaw. Turn North Air Guns, I ordered a bowie with a 14-inch blade. It's 21 inches overall. Do you know what, if that happens, let me do that right now. I'm going to go to AliExpress and type in craft knife and see what comes up. AliExpress craft knife. Craft knife? Is this going to come up with anything? Sorry, your search craft knife did not match any products. Please try again. Let's just type in knife. Sorry, your search knife didn't match any products. Please try again. Welcome to... okay, so how about craft blades? Search that. There's all the blades. It's because it's being censored because we live in a nanny state and they don't want us cutting ourselves. Are you having free-range wild haggis for Burns Night? I don't even know when Burns Night is. Is it soon or not? I don't really know. A Jägermunion, Kurt Mast? Kurt Mast? Kurt Mast was the German entrepreneur who developed the iconic recipe for the herbal liqueur Jägermeister. Could, but really, it's to the creator of Dilbert is getting the next Jägermunion. Oh, I'm overdue to make Jägermunion. To the creator of Dilbert, who was all about the autistic weird engineers. And I'll just do him a discredit by not knowing his name. They're making it hard to get illegal stuff in alley now. Growlcoat, laced up boots and corduroys. Is this a cowboy thing? Why Scott Adams is a cunt. So it was presumably Scott Adams. Okay. Project Nigel. What's Project Nigel? Scott Adams was an arsehole. Okay, right. He was a racist cunt, apparently. Right. Fascist MAGA. You guys are so flattering. Just think of his cartoons. Jeez. It's a bit like that guy, Skip Morrow. That's the mug, coffee mug was the logo. That's the Last Supper with Jesus and all the disciples and the one at the end snorting the cocaine off the table. That was Skip Morrow, and I suppose he had his dark side as well, because he made several books about how to kill cats, but all just cartoons of cats being killed in whimsical manners. Lovely. The cartoons were shit too. When you're making them for newspapers, they don't have to be good. It's just space fillers. Craft knife search works in OK in Aussie. We're very censored here. Stun guns? No, they might be used to kill politicians or something. Knives? No, you might kill somebody with them. Solvent? No, you can't have that either. Welcome to Britain. No, Megavolt Mouse 2. You need to do the experiment to see if the rectal router explodes. Oh, I thought you meant stick it up and make a video and then just stand here until I suddenly start screaming and running around, then going, and then there's blood all over the hands. Blood and shit. Yes, that would be lovely. That would be a really popular video, but it would get demonetized and they'd say, we want to take it down really, but oh, look at the money it's earning for us. Yes. Was that being cynical? I've just got this little cam switch here making clicky noises. While we're at it, here's the display board of that shower. Can you tell which neon was the power indicator? One of them may have seen a bit more use than the others, and it is 100k resistors in the back. Yes, I think maybe this one might have been the power indicator because it's jet black. Put that sex up Ralph's bum? No. He might like it. They have 75mm diameter condoms on AliExpress. I suppose there are people who get surgery for stuff like that. A bit sputtered neon. It is indeed very sputtered. Now, is it because it was a 100k resistor? And typically I'd use 220k resistor for that to keep the current down. Or is it just because it was the one that was lit 24/7? And to be honest, that shower, I couldn't, it's pre-internet, because I couldn't find any data about that shower at all. And I do remember that style of shower being 1970s? Dunno. It's probably really old. 75 watt Grant Reneglas, 75mm diameter, that's 3-inch diameter, girthy love sausage, yes. But then keep in mind that they probably use them over other things as well. They may use them over pressure devices such that they may clean them and keep them sanitary. Not that I'd know anything about that. Why am I holding neons? I'll just put this through. This is why I can't live stream on YouTube. Although I did a huge live stream. It was the Patreon live stream on Thursday, and it went on for 3.5 hours. It was ludicrous. It went on way longer than normal. And I drank a bottle of red wine, which my neighbour gave me as a gift, because I'd given her a gift, and her daughter came back from a holiday and brought me over a bottle of red wine, and I carbonated it. Olar Hammerstrom, I do use the larger size sold in Swedish chemists. RFSL Grand XL. Marvellous. Do you savour the moment when you're asking for them? Look at me not going on about how the internet is ancient and it's the web that came about in the 90s. I think I'm growing as a person. Reasonable enough. I'm talking about widespread for the masses internet. When I first went the internet, in the days of Demon Internet, and it was dial-up, there were not many pictures and there were no adverts at all. If you look at my website, bigclive.com, the images on it, the pages load super quickly because the images are only 320 by 240 and super compressed because they were taken with a camera that used a floppy disk, a Mavica camera. They also use them for actual medical devices. Condoms can be used over electronic equipment if you're like, you can put them over your phone if you're etching or using nasty solvents, and it'll protect your phone from that, unless the solvents eat through the condom. Demon Internet, memory unlocked, Madam Zelda. Much missed Demon Internet, and here's another memory for you. Turnpike software for collecting your news groups and mailing lists. Good old dial-up, we didn't know how well off we were. It was fine. It was good. I'm not going to use Bitmap, no. Virgin Internet are still about, but they're not great. I stopped using Virgin because they kept putting the price up to see how far they could push you. Naismith, that's probably true. Porn appeared on the internet within 12 hours of the internet's invention. A former neighbour in Glasgow was running a porn server next door. He was a network administrator and he dedicated computers just running all the time, serving porn to his friends. You know, Megavoltmeister, I didn't actually feel too bad with that wine. It didn't make my heart race like the white wine does. Odd. No, Brad Robshaw. No autoerotic asphyxiation. Don't do that. That can go wrong. Megavoltmeister, hook the hydrogen generator. Yeah, putting what do they call that again? The perfect blend of hydrogen and oxygen. What is the name of that? Now, the camera's running, so that means I can't actually remember the name. That's going to annoy me slightly now. The perfect ratio. Oh, right, okay. I'm not going to remember. Stoic, yes. That perfect stoichiometric. That's no wonder I didn't get it. Yeah, the perfect ratio to detonate forcibly up your rectum. Lovely. Not a good idea. Null gas for Brown's gas. Brown's gas is when you break water into hydrogen and oxygen with electrolysis but leave the two of them combined. It's highly explosive, but it has its uses. It's much easier than trying to separate into oxygen and hydrogen. Scruffdog's gearing up. Community fibre for the win here. I've got fibre. But a lot of people in the Isle of Man use the Starlink because they're spread out everywhere. So thank you, Jonathan Anonymous, for resubscribing. Much appreciated. And Kermit's Bowels. Lovely name. Pat of Potatoes, you've reached a 10-stream streak apparently. You've been watching all the streams. This is good. And Luther Hedgehog. Delta Mike has a 7-stream streak. I'm just scrolling down, looking at all this stuff that comes up here. I go to Japan next week. Can I buy you something cool, TX Dirk? To be honest, save the space in your luggage, unless you've got something super tiny and you're in the UK because it makes it easier shipping, or if you ship from Japan. But to be honest, Japan isn't as interesting in that sense as China is. It's all more sort of designer stuff. Marty Pillow, still sexy at 60. Yeah, that's quite old, isn't it? Wishing I was lucky, wishing I was lucky, ooh, da-da-da-da-da-da. Wishing I was lucky, ah. In Japan, everything is tiny, including the moist panties served from their vending machines, yes. It does feel like Japan is no longer the tech capital. It's all style these days. I'm not impressed at some of the Japan. You get this image that's presented of their super high tech. What you don't see is the people fixing the stuff aren't actually that super technical. That's strange. China has that issue as well. It's very strange. Is it genetic? There's 2 Jägerminions. Clean knickers, yes. Clive would be bigger. I'd be very big in Japan. When you're big in Japan, do 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 do. I like that song. When my gran was 90, she wanted an inflatable Japanese man and a leather duvet. Really? To your gran? A lot of Japanese appear to be burnt out on work and they are broke. Yes, Chen Earth are guns. It's this image they present of prosperity and work ethic, but in reality they're just exploiting them and using rules to keep them in work, trap them in jobs. Any contact with Naomi? I've been in touch with her recently, but not super mega recently. I like the Japanese car wash. I went over the car instead of driving through. That's fairly common. Jack attacks. You are big, yes. He's bigger, he's bolder, he's rougher, he's tougher. In other words, sucker, there is no other. He's a dominator. Strange illuminated mannequins. Alphaville, indeed. He's still thingy gold. Marion Gold is still actually touring. Major amount of black hair dye involved, but you know what? And he still sounds exactly as he did then. Look it up on YouTube. Only Young is a very good song. See, people could go to Japan, like Electroboom did, and they go to all these shrines and places like that. And he said, oh, I don't like this arcade. It's like complete opposite. I'd have been all over the arcade. But going to these touristy places, it's just like, why am I here? It's just props. It's just gimmicks. It's just crap. They love their vending machines. I like the one that vends udon noodles. The one with the Nixie Tube countdown. Only reason I'd go is for the noodles. That me too. From that machine, Demonics. I'd want them served from that ancient machine. Anyway, before I have the last one of these, let me go and get a little bag of Lego. I think I showed, where did I show this? I showed it I've not even featured it in a video, not even an unbagging video yet. It was pre-unbagged effectively. Let me go and grab it. It is got a Japanesey theme and it's kind of got a Lego-ish theme, but it's not actually Lego, obviously. Let me go and grab it. New built. Comes a little Ziploc bag and it builds this thing here, which is little Japanesey scene. But see the little waterfall there? To make the waterfall betterer, it comes with a little battery pack and LEDs, so the waterfall can be made to light up, or whatever you want in the thing. And it comes with the base plate. It's the mini stuff. It's not like full-size Lego-ish type material. And it's got the translucent plate for the water layer, I guess. And then it's got this bag of bricks and this bag of bricks and this bag of the plates and bricks, and the whole thing costs something like £3. That's ludicrous. That's mass production for you. Well, the Milligarden LEDs are an extra £20. What? Half-size bricks they are. Any link or search, I can give you a link to it. Hold on. This may also appear as a bundle deal. That's what it did for me. Hold on. To boot Lego. Like Lego, but ripped off. Just like they did to the original inventor. Let me just find a link for that, because it looks fun, to be honest. It looks quite fumbly. I mean, that was also the tiny little brick things, that little foliage thing here. But it was still manageable, even with my big fingers, to put this together. It's not bad. Right, hold on. Let me find a link to this. What am I going to search for this time? I shall search for the keyword in my orders, blocks. Tauhutan Lake Themed Micro Brick Building Block Set Adult Creative. Keep in mind, this is showing as £4.09, right, at the moment. But keep in mind that if you add it to your basket and then later on you browse bundle deals, it may appear in your bundle deals along with kits, bigger kits, along with bigger kits with, hold on, big size in bag, one said number of blocks or a huge LED cherry tree. It's got 261 reviews, 1,000 have been sold, and it's 4.7 star. People say nasty things about it. Very good quality, super small and full colour, needs to put together, very fun and creative, also challenging. The product well packaged, pieces are small, it's more than regular Lego, but very fun to assemble. My children loved it. Super cute and fun to assemble. It's all nice things. Let me give you a link for it. This is an affiliate link, just because it's easier to grab the affiliate link. I bought a pack of 50 glow sticks, no particular reason other than it was €2.68. Indeed, in Lidl. Oh, that's quite good in Lidl. You can get the wee tiny glow sticks for fishing from AliExpress. It's one of these things you can just throw in the order. What's the time? It's whoosher time. It is whoosher time. Pump it up. Actually, I don't think I can pump it up. This is where it just blows up. Excellent. Are you ready? Excellent. That's a good visual effect. Also, I can use that sprayer to spray down circuit boards, because that's what I use to get the flux off them. Higher this time, it's already hitting the roof, so no higher. Will you build it and film it? I think that would take a while to actually build, and also I'm not very used to doing it, so that fake Lego is showing at £0.76 for me. What? Also, keep in mind, some people have said, I'm feeling a bit cheated by AliExpress because it shows one price, then a sign in and it shows another. That's because if you're not signed in, it will show you the introductory price for new shoppers. But when you sign in, it knows you're an existing customer and you don't get the introductory price. Those small bricks are called diamond blocks. Aha. 76 pence. I'll build it for you, Mr. Eggcake. To be honest, to post it to you and get it back would be somewhat like that. It'd be more expensive than just buying it. Could you use a piezo fogger in IPA and set the fog on fire? You probably could, yes, but you can also use kerosene in the things, and but it doesn't seem to. It's not an ideal air and fuel mix. There's Sir Moogle. I'm a new shopper and I'll get it. Use PayPal if you're new to AliExpress, just as a layer. Mr. X could build it and send you a photo. Yes. I've already got a picture though here. Oh, Slownick, I used AliExpress for the first time recently. It took around 4 days for them to arrive in the UK. It was handed over to Every, who then lost the parcel. I got a refund though. I've had packages arrive in the UK and then just stop dead. As soon as they hit the UK, they stop. Is it Every or was it the... I'm not sure. But one of them was delayed massive time with Every. I get the feeling that maybe it dropped down behind a machine or shelf or something like that, and then they found it later on. A bench live stream of building it, doesn't matter it's through, that would be viable. I would need to clear the bench to do a live stream though, so I could put the laptop next to it. Is it time to redecorate the ceiling, perhaps the fire? Well, at the moment it's a sort of like a, don't know, textured surface, which I think is because they've had condensation issues before I got here. Certainly it did through there because of poor construction techniques. But it's actually sprayed with boron at the moment, so it is inherently flame retarded. I saw a video of with a glow plug effectively in it. That would work. Callum says, my local Every unit depot decided to move units mid-December during the busiest time of the year. They probably had no choice. They probably came to the end of a rental period of time. Or they just ran out of space. They could have done what Royal Mail did and basically just dispose of huge quantities of mail. When Royal Mail first didn't deal with e-commerce, when it really peaked at the beginning, not peaked, when it started peaking, Royal Mail destroyed a lot of parcels because they just couldn't store them, so they just basically put them all in a compactor. That's the sort of crap they do. They're beyond legality. My last team was sent by the courier 700 kilometres in the wrong direction, but they fixed the next day. That's reasonable enough, China Earth Air Guns. Don't be a moron. Use boron, indeed. Scruff is starting. We'll let it get past the adverts. My local depot was evicted because they were sharing with a crook who went bust and carried on trading but not paying his share of the rent and rate. £600 worth of my stuff was gone forever. Oh. Royal Mail acting unfaithfully, I know, Palace Chat. It's almost like when Ralph sent some whiskey and they seized the bottles of whiskey, and it was when they were just starting to just seize everything that was dangerous, because the whiskey might explode in flames. Perfume, whiskey, anything that they remotely thought might be flammable, like air fresheners were, a bottle of Airwick oil was like a dangerous item posed by Royal Mail and still is regarded that way. And so Ralph lost some bottles of a limited run of his own barreled and bottling of whiskey. So he had to refund the customers that bought it, while someone at Royal Mail apparently drank it because it was caught. They caught the staff drunk because they were drinking, not necessarily Ralph's, but they were drinking the alcohol they were seizing. Lovely. How very... Yes, Royal Mail. Tricky. What's the longest time for removing flux if you wait too long, it gets much harder? Well, I've never had that problem, Megavolt Meister. I use a little toothbrush dedicated to the task, and I use isopropyl alcohol in the toothbrush to scrub and get the flux off. The local Evry are very, very good, but having said that, local Manx Post, Isle of Man Post are also very good, so I've got no complaints locally. Glasgow, there were problems, yes. Not even bothering to deliver parcels. They'd come up and they'd post a card through saying, sorry you weren't in, you can pick it up at the local depot. And I'd go, oh, hi there, I'm in. And they say, oh no, we've not got the parcel, we didn't bother bringing it. No, go to the depot and get the parcel yourself. Lovely. Jaeger to David Essex. David Essex? I mean, the singer, David Essex. He's still alive, isn't he? Yes, he's 78. Not dead. Lovely. Is your brother a whiskey snob now? Oh, Ralph's always been a whiskey snob. He has a whiskey channel. Anyway, I think it is time to transfer over to Scruffdog, and I shall see you next week. This is not a second week thing, so there won't be Patreon stream Thursday, but I'll be back next Saturday. But until then, let's do this. Let's see if I can get it right. Raid Scruffdog Live. Let's see if we can do this correct. But is it going to happen? Yes, it is. Raiding Scruffdog in 8 seconds. So I shall see you next week. Take care and have fun. And we're raiding now. So if you're still here, have a good week. Don't work too hard and keep your options open with work and stuff like that. And have a good week. And I shall see you next week.